Good evening and welcome to the Newman City Council regular meeting, December 9th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Again.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. May you bless everyone at this meeting and all our residents. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pimentel.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ball.
Here.
Councilmember Tomlinson.
Here.
Councilmember Harden.
Here.
Mayor Graham.
Yep. For closed session, direction was given. Item number 5, declarations of conflicts of interest. Are there any tonight? Seeing none, I'll move on. Ceremony none. Items from the public, non-agenda items. Anybody wishing to speak? Go on.
Hector?
Go on up.
Hector? Okay, all right.
Justin? Welcome.
Well, good evening, everyone. Justin Farkas representing the office of Assemblyman Juan Alanis. And unlike typical, I'm not going to be going off the top of my head this evening. I've got a prepared statement for you, starting with, over the past year, Governor Newsom has signed one of the largest collections of bills affecting cities that we've seen in more than a decade. These new laws fall into a few major buckets: housing and land use reform, transparency and governance, homelessness programs, short-term rental enforcement, and CEQA streamlining. Many of these go into effect on January 1st, while others roll out through the middle and end of 2026. Starting with housing and land use, the legislature passed dozens of bills aimed at accelerating housing production and narrowing local discretion. This includes major updates to ADU and junior ADU processing, mandatory completeness checks, automatic timelines, new limits on impact fees, and a requirement that broadens density bonus concessions, streamlines adaptive reuse rules, and new enforcement mechanisms for the state to intervene when housing laws are violated. One of the most significant changes, Senate Bill 79, will go into effect in July, and it preempts local zoning to allow mid-rise housing near major transit stops in California's largest metro cities, so focusing mainly on Los Angeles and San Francisco there. It does not, in fact, impact status laws in Merced counties. Second, we have CEQA and permitting reform. AB 130 and SB 131, the budget trailer bills, created new CEQA exemptions for infill housing and shortened administrative and judicial timelines. And this means faster approval windows, fewer delays, and a higher bar for CEQA-based project challenges. Third, transparency and public access. SB 707 represents the biggest update to the Brown Act in decades. It modernizes teleconferencing rules, expands when public comment must be allowed, and requires new translation and accessibility standards. This will require updated procedures for councils, commission meetings, and staff training. Fourth is homelessness and state reporting requirements. Several bills strengthened the statewide homeless governance framework and tie funding more directly to performance metrics. Cities will now face new reporting standards and coordination requirements for encampment programs, safe parking, and shelter planning. Fifth being short-term rentals and TOT enforcement. SB 346 finally gives cities the authority to require platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo to share listing and parcel data. This allows cities to enforce caps, ensure compliance with local ordinances, and collect the hotel taxes that are owed. And finally, public records and cybersecurity. This just kind of goes over when some changes regarding cyber attacks and unusual circumstances for FOIA and Public Records Act requests. So to help you guys, because I know that was a lot of SBs and ABs there, I've put together some packets here for you guys and make sure you get at the end of the meeting that goes over every bill that affects local government and the deadline for when those are. And then Chief Hedden from Turlock Police Department asked where all the public safety stuff was and the local mandates for public safety, which I didn't go over there, but I do have another packet as well that talks about public safety changes and local mandates that are coming from the state legislature this year are related to all forms of emergency response. So I'll have those for you guys after the meeting concludes.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate the update. We appreciate you being here. Anybody else wishing to speak? Fails. We'll move on. Item 8, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of the November 12th, 2025 meeting and the November 18th, 2025 meeting. D, accept fiscal year 25-26 annual report for Community Facilities District number 2023-1.
Move we adopt to approve the consent calendar.
A second. Oh,
We got first and second. Go and vote electronically. Rest it.
It's showing.
Didn't come up on the TV, but the motion carried 5-0. Item number 9, public hearings. There are none tonight. Item number 10, regular business. A, adopt resolution 2025, next number, a resolution receiving and accepting the general purpose financial statement and Transportation Development Act audits for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
Evening, Mayor, council members. 6 months it took us to get to this point, which is typical. O'Connor and Company has been performing our audits for the last 5 years. Michael O'Connor from that firm, owner and president, is here to present the findings.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Lou. Good evening, Mayor, Honorable Mayor, and members of the City Council of the City of Newman. As Lou said, I'm here to present the financial statements for the year ended June 30, 25. There are no findings. Lou mentioned findings, but there are no findings. So I'd like you to turn to page 1 of the financial statements. Feel free to interrupt me anytime during this presentation. Okay, on page 1 and page 2 of the financial statements, and actually goes to page 3, is our opinion on the financial statements. And everything was done in accordance with all the regulations. There was no qualifications, modifications. This is an unmodified opinion. It's the best you can receive.
Outstanding.
Now I'd like you to turn to page 13 of the financial statements. The pages in between are what's called the management discussion and analysis, and it's a condensed version of the financial statements. And it gives some information regarding the financial statements that was prepared by management. And on page 13, this is your statement of net position. It's as of June 30, 25. It's a snapshot at that time. The bottom line here, the last line on that, government activities had basically $44 million. Net position is your assets less your liabilities. So if you were to sell all your assets, pay off your liabilities, that's what you would have left over. And then your business type activities had $29.5 million, totaling $73.5 million of net position. I'd like to turn to page 14. One thing I forgot to mention in the opinion, it is on our letterhead. It's addressed to the City Council. We do work for the City Council. Our contact information is on that letterhead. If you ever have any questions of the firm that I work for or myself, you can contact me at any time during the year. Communication lines are always open. On page 14, this is a statement of activity, so it shows all your revenues and expenses for the year. Starts off on the left with expenses. Governments are in the business of providing services, and those are the cost of those services. Then you have fees and charges that the city charges, and then grants. And it brings you over to the right to what expenses are left for the taxpayers to subsidize. So at the bottom, the net position ending, as you can see, $44 million. If you go up to the 3 lines above it, you had positive revenue over expenditures, changes in net position of just $4.2 million. Right next to it in the business type activities, you have $1.5 million. Total, you got $5.7 million in revenues exceeding expenses. So this is a very good year for the city, very positive. And I want to thank, the credit goes to management for managing the resources here and able to produce that, that profit and, managing it efficiently to be able to do that. So that's very positive. On page 15, the first two pages, 13 and 14, were on the full accrual basis, as if you were a for-profit company. This is on a modified accrual basis, and it's closer to a cash basis. The city operates a lot of funds, so there are different pots of money for different purposes. So if you see these funds here, these are major funds, and there's one second to the right called non-major. Those are all the small ones grouped together because there's no way to fit all the funds on one page. So small ones are grouped there, and the larger ones that are more important, that maybe the citizens or users of the financial statements, are broken out. Second line from the bottom, general fund, which is the main operating fund of the city, has a positive almost $4 million sitting there in the general fund. And you can go across. CDBG has $5 million, another $5.3 million in public facility improvements. State grants actually has a loss there, or a negative fund balance of $1.4 million. And then federal grants has positive of $86,000. Your other non-major funds have almost $7.3 million to a total positive of just over $20 million in fund balance. And I'd like you to skip a page and then go to the next page. Reconciles the modified accrual basis to the full accrual basis. The next page I'd like to turn to is page 17. And this is, again, your activities for the year. It shows all your revenues and expenses for the year. And the first column there is general fund. Second line from the bottom, you had $17,000 revenues exceeding expenditures in your general fund. You can go across. CDBG at $27,000, $350,000 in public facilities, $500,000 in state grants, federal grants. You had a negative there of just over $1 million of expenditures exceeding revenues. And then you have your non-major funds. You have over $800,000 there to give you a positive increase of revenues over expenditures in all your funds of $735,000. So overall positive. Behind this are your business type activities. We kind of went over those in the full accrual statements. And then you have notes to financial statements that give you a lot more information regarding the city's accounting policies, about your capital assets, about your debt, about your pension plan, and some other items in there and that. But there's nothing specific I want to point out there. So that's all I wanted to go over in this report.
Any questions?
No questions.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate everybody's hard work on that. Thank you, Lou, and your team that do that. But
My pleasure.
So we appreciate everybody. Thank you. Bring it back to council for action.
Sure. Excellent report. We had a deficit, and now we are definitely back in the black, so thank you. Move to adopt resolution number 2025, a resolution receiving and accepting the general purpose financial statement and Transportation Development Act audits for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025.
I'll second that.
Yeah, first and second. Going vote. Maybe. I don't know. Don't want to come up on the big screens. Motion carried 5-0. Item number B, adopt resolution 2025. Next number, a resolution awarding the FHWA on-call engineering service contract to Guava Engineering Incorporated, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Guava Engineering Incorporated. I hope I said that right. Govea. Guava.
Good evening. Thank you. Yes, it's Govea. So a little background on this one, and I try to have a short title this time. Lou still beat me though, so sorry about that. A little background is the city, we're responsible for constructing transportation projects, and they're funded in part by the federal Highways Administration and then administered through Caltrans. So a little background on that firm. So that requires us to go out for engineering services, and that process is a request for qualifications, and they submit their qualifications, and then we go through a qualifying process to then pick the best qualified and a certified to provide our engineering services over a 5-year time frame. We posted this earlier in the fall, and the request for qualifications were due in October, October 16th, and we got one submittal, and that was Govea, who is already our existing provider of those engineering services for those projects. They are continuing to be the qualified for engineering services, and they are approved by Caltrans. Because we only did get one submittal, we did have to go to Caltrans for approval. And as attachments you see there's a number 5 that it's the architect and engineering non-competitive exhibit 12F. So we submit that with the reasons why. We did get some interest in this proposal. However, only one did submit their qualifications, and through that exhibit to Caltrans, Caltrans approved that we move forward. And this is where I'm at, is asking for you to authorize the city manager to enter into agreement with Govea Engineering. So a little bit more background is some past projects that fall under the purview of these engineering services. It includes the Inyo and 33 intersection, the Inyo and Canal School work that was done out there. Currently, we have the SS4A, the Safe Streets for All project that falls under these services, and then in the future we could see projects from our like StanCog, like projects we submit to them, and if we were to get funding through that. Under fiscal impact, that is a large number. However, those are funds that $9,998,000 is the upper limit of what's allowed per consultant for these engineering services over a 5-year period. This isn't a guaranteed, we don't guarantee we're gonna spend that much money, but depending on what projects get approved and we move forward on those funding from through Caltrans, FHWA, it can be up to that amount and not to exceed in the 5-year time frame. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
No.
None? Thank you, sir. I'll bring it back to council for action.
Move we adopt resolution number 2025, a resolution awarding the FHWA on-call engineering services contract to Govea Engineering Incorporated, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Govea Engineering Incorporated.
I'll second.
Yeah, first and second, go and vote. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Items from the city manager and staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to start off by thanking Ally and her staff and the chamber for a great Christmas tree lighting ceremony. There was a lot of great turnout with vendors and people out there. So I think Ally will work with her team afterwards and kind of debrief a little bit and kind of see what worked well and what didn't, and then kind of make some adjustments. But overall, I think it was a really good project with a great turnout. So I want to, you got your audit tonight, and he did a lot of work on there, but, a lot of that work goes to, goes to not only Lou and his staff for doing a great job of keeping track of the numbers, but also the department heads over there and their staff for, as you remember, you started with a pretty big deficit. Now, when we build our budget, we always take a worst case scenario. And so that's why you always get a big looking deficit. But, we brought it back down, and out of over $7 million of expenditures, we were within 17,000. So, the guys do, and these that work for us all do a great job of tracking their expenses and only purchasing what's really necessary and get things done. So a great tribute to all the staff that you have. Justin gave his little end of the year legislative one. The big one is probably the Brown Act 707. As you all know, California doesn't simplify things. So we need to get you a new Brown Act, but no one's compiled everything new yet. So we're gonna have to give you the Brown Act and then give you supplementals as they come in. So I'm just thankful that I won't be around to see most of these implemented in Newman because they're going to be challenging for the staff who's here at the time. So with that, I just want to, as our last meeting of the year, just want to wish all of the council members a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of our staff as well as the community. So that's all I have here.
Thank you, Michael. Ally?
Evening, Mayor, council members, community. I wanted to thank the mayor for being part of our Christmas tree lighting, Supervisor Chance Condit for being part of our community Christmas tree lighting, as well as the pageant, the chamber, and all the departments that came together to make it happen, and the community itself for being out there and making it a great night. And I wanted to just remind everybody that we still do have Kajukembo available all year long for anybody that's interested in the recreation Kajukembo classes. And with that, I can answer any questions that y'all may have.
I just want to say outstanding job. It was a great turnout.
Thank you.
It was a little bit cold, but it was a great turnout.
A little bit. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Chief?
Evening, Mayor, council members. I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and remind everybody to celebrate safely and don't drink and drive this year. Fog's been exceptionally bad, so be careful on the roadways. Watch out for deer outside the city limits. I hear they jump out in front of cars. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I'd ask you to explain more on that, but we'll just leave.
We'll do that after.
We'll just leave it. Lou?
Just real briefly, at one point, the auditor was talking about how our state grant funds has a negative balance. Just so you know, that's the natural state of the fund. Once we get awarded grants, we have to go spend the money first before we get reimbursed. So that fund balance is typically be negative or zero if we have no projects and we don't have any money coming in. But on the other hand, the federal grants normally should be the same situation. But back during COVID, we were awarded the ARPA funds, which in that particular case, they sent us all the money first and then told us to come up with projects to spend it on. So that still has a little bit of money left in it. So that one has a positive balance, but normally it would also be negative too. But other than that, be happy to answer any questions you have on the financials.
Thank you, and again, outstanding job.
Good evening. As Michael alluded to, there was a lot of work went into the Christmas tree lighting. I want to do special thanks to all of Public Works. From office staff down, a lot of work went into getting get the city to look nice and festive, right? And it does start right after the fall festival. There's planning going on year round through all departments, and then that work is done until Christmas time, and then we tear it down and do it again. So just special thanks to them. Additionally, I want to say thank you to all the residents that have been participating in our outreaches for both our Safe Streets for All and our T Street Corridor projects. And I know we ask a lot for that input, but those reports are coming together. And so I'm looking forward to early in next year to bring those both those reports to the council. And so I just want to do special thanks to that. And I can answer any questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Did you dye your facial hair?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
I always, the past few years I bleach it, and I volunteer as Santa for a few things, and so I do a full bleach and I have a suit. But I felt maybe wearing the suit to council is not the best idea. But I wear my hat.
I thought it was
Thank you.
Chief Bowen?
No, all I can say is Merry Christmas, and we left you something special at all your guys' spots there. So hopefully that topped
you.
Santa. Just want to say we did have a structure fire. I want to thank all the volunteer firefighters for stepping up. They did a great job. They got a good stop. No one wants to see a tragedy like that, but when you got volunteers like ours, they make it look simple. So they did a great job. So I really appreciate them. The tree lighting went well for us. We had a lot of people enjoy the fire truck rides. So we'll just keep doing that every year. And then just remember to stay safe this Christmas. Watch how you use candles and stay by your stove if you're cooking or your oven. So we don't have any fires, and I can answer any questions you guys might have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Say happy birthday to my biggest sports nemesis. Happy 57th, Michael.
7 tomorrow, yeah.
Go Giants, go Niners.
No, just want to wish everybody a Feliz Navidad and Happy Hanukkah and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Same thing. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas and great job on the Christmas tree. It looks good. I was walking around yesterday.
One quick question about the VA benefits. Did we,
Yeah, so thank you for reminding me of that. So Councilmember Harden has been pushing to see if we can get the veteran services out here a little bit more for our residents. And so we've been working with them, and they're going to start 2 days a month, be here at Newman City Hall so they get the foot traffic, and they'll be able to take appointments. So they're going to be here 2 days a month, the first and third Wednesdays, I believe. I'll double check and get that to you. And then they'll be providing services to our veterans over here. But before, I think they were working through Family Resource Center, but get a lot more foot traffic being here at the top of the stairs in the conference room over there. We'll put a sign out so that way our veterans can have easy access to the services here on the west side. And I want to thank Councilmember Harden for really spearheading that.
thank you. Thank you very much. Again, happy holidays, everybody, and appreciate all the hard work you did to make sure that we stayed on top of them over there in Modesto too. So I couldn't have it happen any better without your help. So thank you again, and appreciate it. Everybody be safe.
I wish everybody a happy or Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys in a month. Ask for adjournment.
Move for adjournment.
Third, say.